Jason Dineson, EA, LPA. He is an enrolled agent and a licensed public accountant in Iowa. He has had his practice since 2009 and now serves over 200 clients ranging from basic 1040s to all types of business returns. He enjoys helping clients solve problems. He is also a presenter of numerous CPE webinars. He presents for accountants and tax pros, as well as industry groups, HR professionals, office managers, etc. He prides himself on making each presentation a little different from the last presentation, even if he's presenting on the same topic. He is also always incorporating new material and researching new subjects to present on. Jason always had a knack for radio shows and has and regularly features as an anchor for Radio Iowa. To reinvent this aptitude, he has recently started his own series of podcasts on MYCPE, The Jason Show. His professional background includes 11 years in private practice, plus another 4 years working for a third-party administrator of retirement plans. So, hear from Jason Dineson on his path into the accounting industry and how offshoring has aided his firm's growth.
My name is Jason Dineson. I am an accountant in Iowa, and I prepare over 200 tax returns each year and also offer a variety of other accounting services through my firm. So I do all the typical things that any other accountant does. I am a solo operator, or was, until I got some staffing through Entigrity. I present as a teacher of continuing education courses also at MyCPE. And sometimes I present there almost daily, and I teach on a wide range of different tax and accounting topics. I started my firm in 2009 with 3 clients as a side business. And by around 2013 or so, it had grown to something much more. And now I have around 200 to 220 clients. So in my situation, I think it was a little different, I suppose, because I have this relationship with my CPE, which is a part of Entigrity, or they're related to each other. And so there were a lot of discussions through the years as my teaching at my CPE grew that maybe I needed an Entigrity assistant to help me out. And it took some, pulling and dragging, I think, to get me there. Sean at Entigrity first started talking to me about this in like the summer of 2020. And it wasn't until May of 2022 that I did it, even though the offer had been there for almost 2 years. So that's my story. It's probably a little different from some other firms as far as how they get involved with Entigrity, but that's how I got involved. That's probably the hardest thing for me, and I'll bet that it's the hardest thing for most solo practitioners, is we get so used to doing everything ourselves. And I think there's a little bit of control freak in a lot of us too, where we have to do it ourselves if it's going to get done right. So delegating has been, it's been difficult to just remember, oh yeah, I have my assistant who can do that, but she has been a wonderful addition to my staff. I'm just handling things like calendar management and helping me manage my inbox and my to-do list, and she does follow-ups for me. And I get calendar invitations sometimes, or I have a Calendly where people can make meetings with me. And sometimes you get just frankly random people setting up these meetings, and so she follows up with them. Who are you? What do you want? Is this something we want to pursue? And so she does all of those things. And if you as a professional take some time to actually think about what you do and how much time you're spending doing those administrative tasks, I think it would be very eye-opening, probably shocking, to think about the amount of time that you have been spending on those administrative tasks. The other thing I would say, this is a little longer answer to this question, I guess, but another thing that's been a problem for years with me is invoicing. And so she helps with invoicing too, which is vital because you have to send that invoice as close as possible to the time the work is done. Otherwise, your chances of getting paid go down with like each passing day. And there have been times through the years where I've done something and forgotten to invoice it for like 3 or 4 months. And then you're just relying on the other person's goodwill to actually pay the invoice. And it's, I haven't lost like many thousands of dollars from that, but there's a loss of some people don't pay it. And then there's also just the fact that it's just not very professional to wait 3 or 4 months to send an invoice out. But it's because as professionals, we get so focused on getting the work done and getting it done right that all those administrative tasks fall through the cracks. So my assistant helps with things like that. Yeah, so I think the first thing is to go through your activities day to day and figure out what it is that you're doing that could be passed off to an assistant, and just create a list of those tasks. And checklists are always good too. And have that's the first step. And then the second step is communication. And I usually have daily meetings with my assistant, sometimes multiple times a day. Um, Anymore, now that she's up and running, we don't always have the morning meeting, but we usually close the day with just a 5-minute Zoom meeting, or sometimes we use Skype also. And we just have a quick call to check in and see what's been done. What questions does she have? I think that really that second step is just openness and communication and training, helping them understand your systems, because every firm has different software and CRM and things like that that the firm uses. And then in this third step is to just review review the process. And there's some things where after a while it just starts running the way that it should. And so maybe you don't worry so much about the checklist, you just know it's going to get done. I think that the number one thing that she does is calendar management, which is much more complicated than I had originally thought, as far as the number of meetings that I have, and helping me block out time to work on tasks. Because even with an assistant, if I don't block out time where I can work, meetings fill that time up, and all of a sudden another day has passed and I've been in meetings all day. So calendar management, managing the inbox, following up with clients, sending out invoices. She also sits in with me, not on every meeting, but on quite a few meetings that I have on Zoom. She sits in and helps with note taking. And if there's something that needs to be sent to the other party, she'll make note of that and either do it herself or at least remind me that that needs done. Yeah, she sends emails occasionally to clients. I haven't had her talk on the phone to them. A lot of that's just because I don't talk on the phone that much anymore with my clients either. I mean, as much as can be automated or done via email or some other way, um, that sounds terrible. Like I don't want to talk to them. That's not what I mean. It's just that, I don't call a lot of times people anymore. It's done through other means. And so she hasn't had that opportunity, but she has emailed people before. The communication has been fine as far as like the spoken English goes. I was a little worried about that before I got into this, but I found that there really are no communication issues at all. I will say one thing that we have to remember on our side in America is sometimes if we use slang or something, I'll stop and I'll say, now in the United States, we say whatever. But I found a lot of times she already knows and says, "Oh, we say the same thing in India." So I have not encountered any issues on the communication front.